Be sure to subscribe for more content.
What is up, guys and girls? Welcome to the BigBC Finance Channel, and I hope you're having a very lovely day. Today we're going to be talking about Luna 2.0, what has happened over the past 24 hours and where I predict the price to go within the near future, as well as some key price levels I'm looking for. So be sure to stay tuned for that. Okay, so for Luna 2.0, I do have some good news for all the longs, all the bullish people out there for Luna 2.0, because if we get those annotations back on, we can see that we've finally broken out of this bearish channel that we've been in now for the past 4 days. So price came up like this very swiftly, and since the price came up like this, we've been in this channel represented by those light blue lines there, which hasn't been very pleasant. Let me just get rid of these for the time being, and I'll talk about those later. So we've been in this channel now, which hasn't been very pleasant. You know, it's quite a steep downhill channel, and prices bounce off the top, then off the bottom, then off the top again. And we saw a few tradable patterns in there, like this triangle I thought was happening. So you can see quite a clear triangle, quite a clear breakout underneath there. So that was one of the tradable patterns we saw. But generally speaking, we've been in this channel, and you know, the price started gravitating towards this resistance here. It kind of looked like there was a magnet on this resistance here, because the price really creeped up onto this resistance and just stayed there, you know, which is not very typical for a price channel. We want to see the price kind of do something like this, kind of bounce off the top and off the bottom and off the top like that. So for the price to do this, not very unusual. But then eventually we did break out, and we did break out with some momentum. So if I zoom in a bit there for you guys, you can see that the candle there, this particular green candle, represented the breakout. It was larger than the previous candles there. So, you know, in that sense, we saw some momentum. But, you know, if we look at the volume here, all in all, it's very, very little volume here for Luna 2.0. And it tells, because when you zoom out here, you see the candles are just narrowing and narrowing. The price range is narrowing. And we're really just hugging this $2.50 level, $2.45 to $2.50 level, which has been that way now for the past 24 hours. So something seems to be cooking up for Luna 2.0. And this is represented, you can tell quite well when you draw a triangle like this. And it looks like, you know, it's consolidating within a very long, narrow triangle like this. And of course, when the price is restricted like this, there will be a breakout sooner or later. And of course, and on every triangle, we see a breakout and a price target that kind of looks like this, where the distance, where the target is the distance between the first test of the resistance and the support. So let's say we just break out now within the hour on this candle, for example, we'd want to see a price target of around $2.69, and that's quite a nice target as well. That was a key price level that I was looking at, because it kind of goes into this fib very, very nicely. So this Fibonacci levels, when you connect the bottom to the top of that pump there, this is given as one of the major levels. So for the price target to be at that fib level is a very pretty sight, and I do think this is a real case scenario where the price does something like this. And of course, this will be supported as well and of course, I'd like to see price action like that. It doesn't have to be, you know, a straight line up, you know, within 2 or 3 candles where the price just jets up to this point here. It can be a gradual increase, but I want to see some sort of increase to this level in order to remain bullish, because at the moment, you know, we've broken out of this downhill channel here, but we've only just slipped past that resistance there. There wasn't a lot of volume. There was some momentum, but, you know, not enough to make me think that the price has fully got over this bearish trend and kind of reversed into a more bullish trend yet. I want to see more evidence before I am fully bullish on Luna 2.0, and evidence like this, where the price continues to this price level at $2.70, or, you know, in one swift motion here, would be evidence enough for me. But at the moment, we're kind of following this as a support. So right now, what I'm looking at is this as a support for the triangle, as well as a price. If we break below this, then again, we're going to be bearish. But if we can hold this support at least, then, you know, at least the support is going in the bullish direction. So we could. So that's one of the things I'm looking at. Of course, the triangle can go both ways, and if we get rejected by this resistance here and we pop down here, for example, like this, then we could see the price break through here with an ultimate price target of around $2.23. And guys, if you watch this channel, then you know we love that $2.23 level, and this is why. Because if we draw a horizontal line that goes across like this, have a look at what happens when we go back to the 14th of September. The price comes down to touch this exact level here and bounces back up. So just keep a mental note of how many times you see the price touch this level. We kind of almost have a touch here on the 6th of September, 1st of September, and, you know, if I just go on the day chart, for example, have a look at how many times the price comes up to this level, tests it, and comes back down. So super reliable support level we have here. And for the downside, price target to be at this exact level is very encouraging for me as well. So we have the price target at 2 significant levels, the upside at $2.70 and the downside at $2.22. But of course, guys, so for me, that kind of validates that this triangle could be happening as well. So this is another piece of evidence for me that suggests that this triangle here is in play. But if this is indeed in triangle, I'll be taking significant profits at some key levels as well. So this for me is a key level at $2.37-ish here on Luna 2.0. And of course, I'll be taking some profits on the way up around the $2.62 mark here before we get to our final take profit level. So those are some key levels I'm looking for. What I'm also looking for as well is something that looks like this. So, you know, at the moment, we've broken out of this channel here that's completely bearish, but at the moment we're still bound by a resistance that looks like this. It's not a very strong resistance at all, but it still has its significance, just down to the corrective fan theory, which suggests that, you know, when the price is jetting down in a very steep declining pattern and it breaks out, what could also be happening is that it's just following a more shallow, a less steep bearish pattern, because eventually a steep decline will be unsustainable and the price will break through. So what I'm also looking out for as well is for the price, you know, is it really changed direction into the bullish direction, or are we just following a less steep bearish pattern? So, you know, I'm looking at this kind of resistance at the moment. If the price can continue going in this direction then that's more of a bullish case scenario for me. But, you know, if we get stopped at resistances like this and we start heading down again, then, you know, we could be bound by something like this, where it's a bearish direction but less bearish than a channel that would look like this, for example. So that's also what I'm looking out for here on the price, you know, and whether or not we're now going into a bullish direction, or if we're continuing our bearish trend. And of course, I think lastly but not least, I think one of the major things that I'm also looking for here is what Bitcoin and what the general markets are doing. Because like I said in one of my previous videos, we've still got the annotations here, but basically we're super close now to this resistance, which is on Bitcoin literally just a few days away right now. And this resistance here means that there's going to be a lot of volatility and a lot of price movement in the crypto markets and in altcoins such as Luna 2.0 as well. It's going to really affect what Luna does. So if Bitcoin is unable to break through this resistance, if we come back down, and when, you know, the price does touch this resistance and gets rejected, we see large price action. So in theory, if Bitcoin gets rejected and sees a large price action downwards, then we could see the same thing in Luna 2.0. And likewise, if we do break through the resistance and we go in an upwards direction, then what we can also see on Luna 2.0 is something very similar as well. So I'm really keeping my eye on what Bitcoin's doing. I've got all these annotations on my trading view on my phone as well, even when I'm out and about this weekend. So I'll be looking to see what Bitcoin does when it approaches this line here, because that's going to bring a lot of volatility, a lot of trading opportunities throughout the crypto market, throughout altcoins like Luna 2.0. And of course, I'm looking at what that does in tandem with what the patterns here suggest. So at the moment, the most promising one is this triangle that we got right here. But of course, I bring out these videos every single day, so I will come up with an update video if things change. But at the moment, that's what I'm looking for. Ultimate price target of $2.70. That could look something like this with the price action over the next day or two, or we could see a breakdown through this. And I think eventually we'd see a price target of around $2.23 like that. I'll be taking profits along the way on the upside at around $2.60 here, $2.59, and I'll be taking some of the profits out at the $2.35, $2.36 mark on the way down if we do break below like this. So that's all I have to say in this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you think I missed anything, drop a comment below with your input. Otherwise, I hope to see you all in my next video. Take care.